Hey guys, today let's talk about Doomsday D-Link, Doomsday Dragon Link. Well, at first you probably feel hey mate, this it shouldn't work, right? Like there's like no way that this thing work. How could Doomsday like a deck that was like heavy like exchange restriction can be like mixing with another deck that was have like dark restriction? Like it won't make sense. How could it work? And well, actually, it wasn't that much restricted. Okay, and I tested out. And by the way, I'm not a really good player right now. I'm currently platinum something like platinum 5 or something. I'm not really like the best player, so don't accept my idea and my like example be like actually like top level or something like no, just and just let me talk about this deck as my platinum level. Not like that good, so don't expect that much. Okay, so Doomsday, if you don't know, let's just get through the fact. It was really simple. Your main deck monster have the level 4. They all share the same search effect, and like only different between like this Alara and Amethyst, and it's just the 5 and 7 there are, and only different in like for 5 right now, for example, you can search monster to your hand. You can search monster, and for 7 you can set a spell card. So so 5, like actual like effect destruction, is like when this card is normal special summon or be destroyed by card effect, you can add one Doomsday monster from your deck to your hand except from Doomsday 5 Amethyst. Okay, and just it work. So we could add a card, and there's another effect. It was generic effect with share with all Doomsday monster. Like while this card is equipped with the equipped card, the quick effect, you can spirit summon one wind machine exchange monster from your extra deck with the same rank as the card level, and if you do, attach this deck as equipped cards and the monster as material. This is treated as an XT summon. So we can use this effect to XT summon level 4 or level 4 Doomsday, but I'm not actually bringing this in because I'm not really feeling that comfortable. Well, it just goes through in XTs with to this. I don't want to bridge to this, so today I won't not really gonna talk about it, but all you gotta remember if you want to use it, like it is a pop, but it is a pop, and also at the same time, if it had Doomsday as material, you can also search or send a crystal to send a crystal to the graveyard or add it to your hand, like this effect like that. Okay. And then Lara is the same thing, but it just can search spell and trap. Okay, and for spell and that basically is the main two searcher, and one of it, and there's also like this one is a power patron. Power patron is I would say is kind of there is a way you want to use power patron is if you want a bigger field. If you want like bigger end board, you will go for the power patron. But if you want to be more consistency, then my suggestion is just no, you don't really need to play Power Patron in this deck for Dragon Link because we don't really have that much way to deal with exchange restriction, and we don't have that much in level 4 special summon stuff, and we don't have that much way to pop a card in our hand, and like this could be like reverse etc. If we can special summon like Power Patron to the field from a hand or from a deck, like whatever, then Dragon Link can actually do that. But because Dragon Link, we can just pop a card on the field. Like right now, it's really easy, but we don't really have that such a way to special summon a machine monster, and also it was wind, so it's kind of suck. We cannot do that. So like that was like one of the points. Yeah. And so we're not gonna talk about this, but this is like the most generic search, and it was like another XG summon. But today we're not gonna use it, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much. So let's just jump to our big boss monster. And this guy is like the main bridge to our end board. Okay, like the 0. Okay, you can target one Doomsday card in control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand, then you can equip one equip spell from your deck to this card. So when this card is fulfilling for a special summon condition, it automatically fulfill it like XL XG summon condition. So this is like one of the greatest things you can do with this card. Is just you can pop one Doomsday card on the field, which is like not even activating the effect, because like as you know, like Doomsday, there if you want to search, if you want to activate the effect of search, you can use it as like you probably do like normal spell summon and activate effect. Like that's one of the use case. But if this card is destroyed, is also is you can also use the effect to search a monster. So if you really want to like search to get past, like you don't want to get imperm or something like etc. So or you don't want to get ogre or something like make you feel less, have one less monster, so you want to play it like this. And if you do it like that, you can have the search and the special summon level 8 on the field, which is gonna help, which is also have the XL XCs, which is also helpful for us to bridge to our Doomsday and Dressers. Dressers is one of the like tolerance in board. You only like, for example, like Dragon Link, we always suffer when Maxi or Fuva or something. Like for this card, for Doomsday, like for Doomsday system, we never summon Doomsday, instead of summon one card from our hand, and well, voila, we're good to go. Let's say like we can have this guy on the field, then you probably feel like, hey, but it's just one monster, and I cannot do that much stuff. And well, actually, it will do a lot of this thing does do a lot of stuff. Okay, so the first time, like, okay, so you have a lot of effects. Let's just go through it. The first time this card will be destroyed by battle, a card effect each turn is not going to be destroyed. This is for the equip cell for the Doomsday, and also for the for if you want to get extra restriction for Raigeki or something, like the opponent cannot just get through your board by just singly just Raigeki your one Doomsday. And you can only use like one of each following effect of Doomsday one first turn. And first effect is this card is actually summon. Like you can equip one other face-up monster on the field to this card as a equip spell. And as a disclaimer, you can actually have Breaking Sword in your deck, which is sent into the graveyard. And like I don't know, you just go for it. You Dragon Link, I can do anything. You can just Dragon Link bridge to Dragon Union, and Dragon Union bridge to Doomsday and all things etc. and special summon a Destruction Sword on the field and use the Doomsday to equip the Destruction Sword, so you can get the extra deck restrict. You can make your opponent cannot special summon for an extra deck, but that type of archetype I don't really want to play around it. I feel like it's also kind of lame, so I just kind of let it stay what it's going for. So I didn't play that. And major because I don't really have that much UR star. I don't really have that much of UR dust to just go waste. Okay, so this is like first effect. It can equip any monster on the field, and this is a non-target effect. So when your opponent like feel like, hey, I'm gonna dodge the effect or anything, like, well, it's not gonna work against this thing. So yeah, which is kind of good. Okay, so this is the first destruction. Like the one of the self-destruction for this deck, okay, for this card is it can equip a card on the field, okay. And the second effect, when the opponent activates a monster found on the field or graveyard, you can detach one material from this card and negate the effect. Then if you do, you can equip another card from your opponent control, okay, for your opponent control. So this card does three things, like for like technical spot. At first, it can equip one monster from opponent control, so it will be one destruction. And if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate that. That's another destruction. It's not destruction; it's an interruption. It's just whatever. Okay, and if you did negate the monster, then you can equip another monster your opponent control, which is get to assert interruption. So actually, this card is actually insane if you stand it as like for end board pieces. This is actually really good. And but like, well, one good Ember pieces is not gonna help in the Dragon Link to win all the fight against like the main meta deck. Okay, so don't be expecting this deck to be like competing with like Mitsuruki Rise Zero or something like that. Okay, just no, you're playing Dragon Link, so you're gonna be tolerant with all of them. Like you get beat the crap out of like the mainstream meta, but this deck is actually kind of good to against like some some deck, like some meta deck, because well your opponent never understand Doomsday. That's basically it. And after the Ember pieces and how do we gonna bridge to the Ember pieces, let's talk about the spell, which just make this deck function differently. Okay, so we have Doomsday Change. The Doomsday Change is actually you can destroy one card in your hand, deck, or face on the field, except for Doomsday Change. Okay, so when this effect pass, you can, like for example, we can pop the 7 or the 5. So we can search a spell. We can set a spell or search a monster, which is like both of it is working a lot. Like it's a searcher, but Doomsday Change have another effect, which is make it really tricky for your opponent. Like if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a Doomsday card from your graveyard to your hand, except from Doomsday Change. Then you can special summon a Doomsday monster from your hand. So what does this affect me? First, like it was one of the best thing that this actually the one of the main logic for this deck to function. Like if you want to play this deck when you're gonna comboing, you will always trying to destroy this card in your combo. Maybe use Rocket, and maybe you're gonna use the Doomsday Equip you use Equip magic effect to destroy another card, but we're gonna talk about more about this later. But in our combo we will actually go in and try our best to just destroy this card in order to activate this effect to get another Doomsday monster on the field. So we can make, so this is like extra body for Dragon Link, and extra body for Dragon Link, like you know it, it's gonna become a striker or like Dragon Union, like both, like these two, like a striker or Dragon Union, and like it will work for Dragon Link to just get an extra body. And also this effect can be triggered by some opponent that didn't understand Doomsday. Let's say like they have like Bone at the Floor, or they have Mitsuruki Trap, like can negate our effect, which is both negate effect and destroy. So actually the opponent is negate our first effect, but they also destroy it, so it's also triggering Doomsday's second effect. So, which is, well, if you like, let me show you an example. Like if we normal summon a 7 and we set a change and we make the 7 into striker, and like whatever, for what reason your opponent didn't really interrupt with the striker, and we activate change, the opponent interrupted it with Bone at the Floor, and or anyway like it get destroyed, like you can negate and destroy. Which is in this case, you can special summon your 7 from it, activate the change effect, add your 7 to your hand, and you can decide it whether you're gonna special summon it or you're gonna keep it in your hand. Like in this scenario, we're always gonna special summon it into a Dragon Union. But there is also some scenario, like for example, like we have 0 in the graveyard, and which is we add 0 in our hand. So what should we do? What should we do if we're gonna like decide? Like should we special summon 0, or like we have another way to get a Doomsday card on the field? We can just use the 0 effect to special summon this, and well, do you remember a fact when this card is special summoned, it can also get an equip spell. An equip spell also mean that this card can go for another Ember pieces, which is gonna be our big exchange. So you know it. Like there is some decision and some process you gotta do with it, and which is funny enough. Like really, there is a lot of scenario my opponent just negate or change because they have no chance. They have no idea what I'm doing, or I force them into some scenario like they have to negate it. And okay, so there is like a lot of stuff they can talk about, but it's something about Doom Drug. Doom Dirk? Dirk is probably Dirk, it's not drug. I just my brain is not functioning. So this is equip spell, and once per turn, like during the standby phase, inflict like 500 damage to a controller of an equipped monster. So you can also equip to your opponent. If your opponent like 500 damage away from dying, then you can just equip it and to the standby phase, goodbye. You can do it like that. And you have another addition effect. And here's the thing, like he can get this equip spell is actually function differently than other equip spell. It gave the monster the effect rather than the equip spell have an effect. So when you activating the effect, for your opponent, in your opponent's side of view, like they can only see the monster is activating the effect. So do you like you know what let's just get through it. Let's just get through the effect first rather than we talk about how to like little trick we can use it. Okay, so like first bonus effect for this equipped monster gonna be gained, the Doomsday monster or Wind Machine Xyz monster. Your opponent cannot target this card with a card effect. So make our gestures immune to like imperm or other like targeted effect. They can just go 1-for-1 hand trap to get through it. Like it cannot do it. The opponent cannot do that. And sometime the opponent gonna be feeling really stressful. Like they cannot just deal with a card that cannot be targeted. Like, hey, this is some resistance for some reason. Like it is a resistance. Like you can also somehow useful. So yeah, it's very like that. And there's a second effect. Okay, so it's once per turn. You can activate this effect, destroy one other face-up card in control. Also, for the rest of the turn, this card gain attack equal to the own level or rank. Can attack directly, and if it battle, it is destroyed at the end of the damage step. So do you remember like our rank 8 effect? Like it cannot be destroyed once per turn. Like cannot this the first time this card will be like destroyed by battle card effect. For each turn, like it's not destroyed. So it's actually served for this effect. So we can make the rank 8 punch your opponent in the face and get I really forget the damage. I remember it's like 3,000 something. I don't know. I kind of forget. And you can do that, and also going into Zeus. And Zeus can just go wipe anything out, and it's a pretty good way to play around stuff. Okay, so this is like the good side of this effect. And okay, so right now let's talk about the practical usage of this equip spell. So do you remember like I talking about like this effect is actually not an effect by this equip spell? It's actually like gave the effect to the monster. So and when you're gonna end game, your opponent see the monster activating an effect, right? So there is a lot of way. So here's like one of the like weakness for this deck. If you interrupt like for example, like we have a 0 on the field and we activate effect to actually summon, and your opponent activate the book, right? They just set the 0, or they just go in and banish this, or just destroy it. Then we have no monster on the field, and 0 is disappeared, so we cannot actually summon. We have no way to actually summon, right? So or we just simply get Ghost Ogre. Like it's just done. But here is the thing: your opponent didn't know you're activating the Xyz summon effect or the Doomsday equip spell effect. So what you actually can do is when you have like an extra card on the field, which is with extra card on the field that you can pop. You feel free to pop. Maybe it's like the sector, or you have like quick launch on your hand, or another quick another quick play spell, or just another monster on the field, like you just don't care, or you want to pop. Like more on that later. So we can activate this effect first. Then we're gonna go to in. We can go like we gotta go and watch our opponent what they're gonna do. And if they trying to negate this effect, like if like for example they use Bonnet the Floor to negate this, like I don't know for what reason they still have they negate this effect rather than the previous effect, but like we just ignore that for the sake of teaching. Okay, so when your opponent trying to negate this, they don't know that it was actually the pop effect. So they just negate something that was useless. So you can chain it after, you can chain another effect, which is going into Exceed Summon. And the Exceed Summon, well, your zero is out of the field. So even if they have, like, your zero becomes Exceed material. So even if they, like, negate the effect, well, they negate and destroy, they negate it and destroy it, or negate it or banish, well, it's not big of a deal because the zero isn't Exceed material. Like it's not gonna be get removal or anything. Yeah, so that is actually a pretty good trick that I play a lot. Because your opponent is never gonna know what the effect is it, and I'm not quite sure about this in like TCG, like game rolling when you actually play with the actual card, but I think maybe we can, sort to get this effect around to your opponent or to the judge. I don't know. I'm not really quite sure about ruling, but if you understand it, feel if you understand it, can you like leave a comment down below to make it understand it? I'm not quite sure about that thing. To make everyone just like, okay, it's gonna understand it. And yeah, you can also see like there's a destroy on this card effect. So with the destroy, we can actually destroy change, which is like main usage of this card, which is also one of the like main feature of Doomsday is 2-card combo. It's actually, if you want to make a good board with Doomsday without Dragon Link, you actually need a 2-card combo to go for. So you're gonna use somehow get a change and get the Doom Dirk, and you actually just use activate the change and use Dirk to destroy the change, which is pop it and activate another effect, extract, etc. Which is well, like activate and get them a lot of monster. And also this effect is some sort of not having the once per turn slot on it. You probably feel like why I saying like it's some sort of that have not, it didn't have not have once per turn on it, because like it actually applying the fact to the monster. So if you apply to zero, you zero pop it, and you're gonna go in and Exceed Summon, and which is the equip spell effect would be applied to that monster again, so you can pop another card on your field again. So you can actually pop him for twice, or if you can like consistently doing this, like for technically there is no limit for how many times this effect can be like reset, and so we can just go for it over and over again, which is the equip spell. And let's talk about the Raider, the Doomsday Raider. Doomsday Raider is one of the main way that we go against like Fuva, or like for like Fuva or Perulia in this deck, because it can actually make 5 and 7 both equally when they have like if we have Lock Burst, that we can use this effect to special summon it on the field, so we can just get into other stuff differently and just what am I talking about? Okay, whatever. Whatever. I use most of the time this card is in my deck as easy way to get a face-up Doomsday card on the field. And what's you probably feel like why we need Doomsday card on the field? Well, it's basically because the zero need a card on the a Doomsday card in the face up on the field to destroy, to Spirit Summon it. So if we have this card in the field, which is conveniently is like a continuous spell, we can just activate it instantly, and we're just gonna go and pop it, which is like good. And also it can destroy one other Doomsday card, which is, destroy for Doomsday is actually equal to search. You can actually use that, then activate that card effect to search, like just go for it. Then also you cannot but it will but this search effect will come with a great cost, with you cannot special summon any non-Xyz monster from your extra deck. So be aware, like if you want to use this effect, make sure to use it as at the last, okay? just be remember. And there is another effect for this card. Is when this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target one face up monster on field, destroy it. So which just mean like if in our combo we have Raider in our combo, which is face up on the field, we can always use the Dirk effect to pop it, like for Dirk on our Xyz or on our Zero, to just pop it, and this Raider can just pop another monster on your opponent field, so which is some sort of destruction. And you can also activate this effect by using change. But if you really need to remove some monster in your opponent field, you can actually use this effect and just destroy the Raider, and Raider activate the effect, destroy one card your opponent control, but it's what one monster opponent control and is targeted. So it's not that great removal, but is it an easy way to get removal? Yes, definitely. Yes. And Doomsday Destruction, which is another way that we can have a face-up Doomsday on the field without normal summoning. But wow, Doomsday are old dragon, so you know how Dragon Link and Rocket can deal with the Dark Dragon stuff. So yeah, it was not that hard for us to just get Spirit Summon and Doomsday on the field. So, but for the sake of early game combo, you're not getting into like Rocket, all kind of stuff, Doomsday Destruction is one way we can get Doomsday on the field. Which this effect is not on the first layer, it's on the second layer. Is when this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target one face-up monster in the field, equip one Doomsday monster from the deck to it as an equip spell. So you can use this effect to add another equip spell on your Doomsday, like for some scenario like you don't have a 7, for example, your 7 is out of effect and your 0 is getting interrupted by your opponent, and you can special, like for Dragon Link we can special summon 0, but we cannot get an equip spell on it, like for some scenario. So in that case, you can use change to just pop the destruction, and just gave it the 0 a monster. Gave it 0 Doomsday card, Doomsday monster as an equip spell. So in this case, the Doomsday, your 0 can be just go in and do another Chi summon. But majorly, it was not going to be used for the sake of getting another equip spell, because we have a card for that. And more on that later. But for most of the time we use it as getting the face-up Doomsday on the field as a equip spell. So our 0 can just pop that card, special summon, and just go for the traditional Zeus and all the stuff. Okay. And there's another effect that we will also use, but it was more like an M board pieces, and which is we can target one Doomsday Xyz monster control, equip this card to it with the following effect. Card cannot be added from your main deck to your opponent hand except from drawing them. Yay! Floodgate, make the deck good. It can only for us, like to activate this effect, it's actually kind of hard because we don't really play the Power Patron. If you play Power Patron, you can actually use it quite oftenly, because the Doomsday Raider can just go in and get another Power Patron, and Power Patron get effect, and which is you can get it through like really quick. Like you can have some sort of way, you can have a lot of way to just get to the destruction. But for us, we only have 7. So more is like when we're gonna use this like floodgate effect is more on when we have free 7 to use. So it's basically not using that often, but yeah, it did work sometime, and there is some combo, and there are some situation like we can get our gestures and our 7, and which is set destruction, as like there is no spiritual summon from our main deck, and there's no spiritual summon from our extra deck, so it's free from Fuva, but is actually like if you eat a Perulia, it's kind of screwed, but here's another point about this deck. It's not about this deck. It's not about Doomsday. Doomsday is not really care about hand trap because, well, here's the deal. If you negate a Doomsday, what would you gonna negate? Do you like when they normal summon this? Like when you're gonna against Doomsday, the only thing you can negate is their normal summoning point. Okay. Like which is really weird. You can only see on this like meta deck, okay? But this deck is not meta. This is not even close to meta because it's not really that strong. So if you want to truly negate Doomsday, you need to negate all the like least small monster, because there is no like major plot or major weakness for this deck. Because all of the cards, they are the main switch. They are like central combo pieces by themselves. So if the opponent want to negate this, they gonna negate this thing quick. So which is gonna introduce to the next topic. When they negate this effect, really quick, what will happen? Well, they wasted their negate on a side road on our side engine, other than Rocket and our Dragon Union. So we can make our Dragon Union and then our Rocket get past more easily. So, which is like really helpful for this deck. And for some scenario, opponents saw, and there's like there's some game I play. There's 6 because you know World Master Duel we don't have another turn for it. So when I normal summon, opponent didn't know I'm playing Doomsday Dragon Link. They saw me as a Doomsday player. So they negate my Doomsday at the first. Okay? They didn't know I have a fully prepared rocket engine and a fully prepared pistol engine and a Dragon Union engine after all of that stuff. So my opponent just make a misplay. They put all of the hand trap resources and they focus fire on Doomsday rather than just, relax and, see there's like they probably can just negate our Dragon Union. Like that for them then probably is a better play, but which is another point. If we have Doomsday, we also some sort of immunity of like imperm of or Valor, because our equip spell can give us like a quick effect of destroying any card on the field other than this card. So when they're trying to import, when the opponent trying to import our Rocket or Dragon Unit, we can just use this effect, maybe majorly like a 0 on the side of the field. Like you can just activate the effect, hey, no, I just gonna destroy my Rocket, and to just dodge the imperm and dodge all the stuff. And talking about dodging effect, does this thing make you feel familiar? Okay, doesn't it make you feel familiar? Like there is some targeted effect, and it and Doomsday just use the effect to dodge it, to make that effect, that targeted effect, without any target, to end the result, which is kind of similar. Like hold on, I think everyone that played Rocket are pretty understanding what I'm talking about, because our Breach Borrow is completely gonna be utilizing this effect. Like because we have a quick effect, we can target one dark monster or control, like it gain 500 attack, or if they're no longer on the field, you can special summon one rocket monster from your deck in defending position. So if you have like a Doomsday Doomsday on the field, you no longer fear that your opponent just gonna chain block you the breach borrow. They're just gonna chain block the breach borrow like when we got target like silver bullet, or they're just chain blocking, which is kind of sad. Like which is somehow is some in some scenario it will happen. And in that fact, and so if that scene happened, we can just actually use a zero effect and just pop the target for the breach borrow out, and which is gonna happen, which is gonna get another special summon of rocket, another tutor, which is gonna kind of useful. And this effect didn't apply only on some like silver bullet, because it is like quick effect destruction. It can destroy anything. So and for like I will just take it simply. Like for example, we can just target our guard dragon, and we can just use breach borrow, target guard dragon, and use the zero effect to destroy our guard dragon and breach borrow without any target, so we can special summon a rocket, which is etc etc. And for targeting another monster is like basically all of it is functioning similar to this, and but there is another play we can use breach borrow to target the zero itself and chain zero effect to destroy a card to exceed summon. Like for example, like exceed summon, breach borrow is also losing its target, so it can go in and make, so it can special summon another rocket on the field, so which is we can use it to most of the time we can search a loader search for the phantasmate, we just special summon it, we just get it for the hand for getting more hand trap, which is a pretty good like connection between Doomsday and like Dragon Link in this effect. And let me think of them. Let me solve parses. Oh, and by the way, you probably feel weird why I brought this card, the 7-star slash, because Doomsday is Doomsday, like the 7 and the 5, they need like equipped monster to have effect. So like in this case, in teaching sake, like for example, you didn't play two dresses, you play one breaker. And by the way, if you want to play only one dresses, you probably gonna cut a 0, because you can only get a level 8 once, and our way to get a level 8 non-dark monster to our deck is really restricted. We just only have like bestow dispatcher. We only have dispatcher for this, but you know, it's free. You can do it. So we can actually do a list effect, which is just a 7-star slash to use to target our 7, which is gonna give in the equip our router, because the 7-star is target like this. It can equip a level 7 monster with the same type as the target monster. And at the end phase, that card will be returned to your hand, so you can also use this card effect to search for Phantasme. And like there's another effect that when your opponent like having level 8 level rank 8 or higher monster destroyed by battle while this card in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand, like, which is rarely happening, but there is a lot of like but it will happen something. Rarely happening, but somehow, I don't know, just get it. So this is like a cheap version for equip spell for Dragon Link. Like otherwise, if I want to use this and if I want to have another equip spell, the best option for me is Noble Knight. I don't want to play Noble Knight with Dragon Link, so I just play like this. I just play these two. And by the way, do you guys still remember like I say like 0 can use the first effect to just dodge it? Well, it's for to like for faking it, like for opponent that didn't know like Sinkat was gonna for exceed summoning or anything like that. We're just gonna make them to do the wrong decision. Well, for 7-star, it's not gonna be working as the same, but But with a twist, your opponent can also make a wrong decision. Like for example, if we normal summon a 5 and we know our opponent have a target negate, like say imperm, or like what's that card called? The Fine Smiths level 9 stuff, like a target card and just negate it. And I mean, let just negate stuff on the field. Let those type of stuff. When you understand it, at that situation, you can go in and you can normal summon 5 without effect, and you equip it with an equip spell, and you activated the effect of like split like HC summoning, and your opponent, if they're trying to negate this with destruction effect, like Bone of the Florida, like all the stuff I was just talking about. In that case, our opponent gonna help us to destroy our monster, which is like our normal summoning. We all both know like my effect will never gonna get through because they gonna target my card for negation. So if for the way of avoiding that, I equip this card with another equip spell or something, or like monster. I don't know what I don't care, and make my opponent bait them for like destruction and anything, which is, well, I didn't activate the search effect for the 5, so when I destroy it, the 5 can activate the effect of searching another Doomsday card, which is perfect for the rest of the combo we're gonna do for. So, like for 7, it's also working like that, but with a twist that you have set spell on the field. For most of the times, the 7 is better than 5, but for like having enough like normal summoning slot for the Dragon Link and the 60 deck, I personally prefer to just have full 6 of them. I think it's pretty balanced between both of them. And after talking about a little trick, we can just talk about why the Dragon Link can utilize the Doomsday. At first, like Doomsday, it can go for like XC summon, but we need an equipped card, right? But Dragon Link can, like in our engine, we can go through and get a Borolo Dragon on the field, a Fatal Flare. The Fatal Flare is we can target one dark card on the field. We can equip it with a Dark Link monster, which is a quick spell, which is gonna proc the Doomsday effect of going into like Exo Xyz, and going. You can like for example, we have like an entire board of Doomsday before, but maybe we're gonna go for second. We're just going Doomsday. We're trying to break opponent board, but we fail. We're losing all the stuff on the field. But guess what? We still have quick launch, and we just activate quick launch and special summon the loader, and loader effect will just go in and make a 1-card combo really quick, and just went through the Trisboro, and use the Borolo and Fatal Flare to search for the Caliber, and Caliber into the Guard Dragon under the Triboro. So we can use the Guard Dragon to special summon our Doomsday, and use the Fatal Flare to equip Doomsday with a quick spell, which is make our end board get more stronger, because like after this we can, if we have another level 4, or we just somehow we have another card in the field, just use Trisboro to just pop it, like etc. You know the drill, like for the Dragon Link combo, so we're just gonna ignore it. So in that case, we can end up with a borrowed land and like some sort of ember pieces. Maybe it was IP or SP, or it was bigger for like Borolo, or like Abyssal Despertar. I don't know. Like it will be like, and all of that plus a Doomsday end gestures, which is really threatening for opponent in like turn 3 or turn 4, because it was really gonna make them suffer because this is actually a good board. Like we can get a negation, we can steal the card, we can just use the all effect, which is really good. Overall, really good strategy. I can say. And I gotta tell you, this wasn't like a non-common sort of stuff. I used Doomsday to just go through many different deck, but here's a disclaimer: I'm only at platinum. In my highest rank that I ever get was like diamond one or something, like diamond one or something like that. I never get reach higher than that. So I'm not like really good at this game. So don't take the since I'm not that good at this game, so my opponent is so. so so like when I'm talking about when I'm winning against Vanquish Soul K9, it's not that you guys think about the perfect pro player Vanquish Soul K9. No, it's normal player or even not like they didn't familiar with the Vanquish Soul K9 that much. The player level is not that high, so I can break through with Doomseed. But for higher level, I never tested, but maybe there's a chance for people that better than me that have Doomsday Dragoning in their hand. But I don't know. I'm not that good at this game. So just maybe there's a chance. Just maybe. So overall, I just use this. I can use Doomsday to just go past another board because my opponent just don't know what to do to Doomsday, and also Doomsday is just too tricky and is really hard to stop with a hand trap. I think I talked about that because what are you gonna do when you summon five? When you summon five and you can search for 0 and special summon it, and that's end. That can be the end of your combo. Your opponent probably probably committing to a 1 Fuva or 1 Fuva plus or 2 Fuva, maybe like 1 Fuva, 1 Ash, and you have 0 in your hand. And for the rest of it, you have like a 4 card against 1 Dresses and 3 unknown card in our hand, which is kind of threatening for an opponent. Which is not like the best board or best tolerance board, but for Doomsday and for Dragon Link, that is not a meta deck. I mean, bro, come on, this is good enough for us. don't get too like picky for this. We can do something, and Doomsday also provide like for example, like if our opponent just throw what's that thing called? Dimension Shifter. Our opponent just throw a Dimension Shifter, but for Dragon Link, we can't do anything. But for Doomsday, we can just, go in and make another gestures and stop. For Lockbird, the same thing. We add a card, we add 0 to our hand, and your opponent activate what? Lockbird, whatever. I'm just gonna start summon at 0 and just lay back. I'm not gonna do anything at all. And that's like the beauty for this deck. It is really quick for this deck to just get into some sort of like a good piece for your end board. Just go stop. Just go for Tolerance board. And you're probably wondering like how the Doomsday gonna go in. How the Doomsday gonna be like changed to bridge to Dragon Union and all the things, etc. At first, I can tell you. Doomsday, if you ever played Dragon Link before, like for early game Dragon Link, like the Chaos Ruler still exists, there is some variation of Dragon Link that was only playing Dragon Maid without tiding. Is that saying tiding? I'm not quite sure about the English name for that. Is it tiding? Or hospitality. Like they play only the Chamber Dragon Maid and the trap and the tiding. And they didn't play the hospitality, which is like if you play it, which is like one of the like main argument point about that deck is like for example, like if they have Dragon Maid in their hand, they can normal summon and have the clarify, get a hospitality and just get another special summon, get another body on the field, which is go for Dragon Union to proceed the Dragon Link combo, Rocket, Autosync, etc. But that player didn't choose it. Like you play only Titan, which is gonna provide one less brick for the hospitality, and well, you probably feel like without, but if we do that, the Dragon Link will have a three just and one normal. It's just three Dragon Maid, three chamber Dragon Maid that just only work as one body, but which is really simple for which is like really funny thing about Dragon Link. We don't really care about if even if like we only normal summon the stuff that can not improve our board that much, they didn't have another extra body, we can always somehow, if we have enough like extender in our hand, in this case it's pistol, then we can special summon it by just make it into striker and banish that card and just go into a Dragon Union combo. Which is also like it's kind of inspired this deck because I have like long term memory of it. I remember like, oh, I can do it like this, so I just play with Doomsday and just voila, it worked. By the way, it worked in OCG and by the way in OCG, Doomsday have like full better stuff to play with. I forget that thing is on TCG or not, but if you're playing TCG or playing OCG, you can have a chance to touch with Doomsday Dragon Link with extra support. You can try it. It was actually kind of good. It was actually really good because it was more generic, and you can do more stuff. Like probably like normal Dragon would be scared of like one like phase up a skill drain or something like that, hit like floodgate, but you can have more way to interrupt your opponent board and make your opponent confusing. But it kind of goes through, but I kind of like went off. Overall, like only having like a pistol for our extender is not enough. Well, we also have an extender that was our main engine, which is called Rocket, which is itself acting as one of the like main starter. And you're probably asking why the Rocket can be like can be the supporter or be the extender, because we can just use the normal summon Doomsday and get to the sector launch and use the sector launch to special summon a Rocket and get to the Rocket combo. Which is, well, after that you can just do all the stuff, etc, 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 and after all of it, just make sure you have the Fatal Flare. You just use the Fatal Flare to equip a Doomsday 0 with the Link monster, or your effect is all of the effect. Maybe say you have 5 or 7 effect that all pass. Your opponent didn't interrupt it. Then and plus another like full board of Dragon Link. We don't really need the Fatal Flare effect to just go into equip. We can actually, because you already have a 0 on the field and you have a way to Spirit Summon Doomsday on the field, so just go Spirit Summon the Doomsday out. It won't be that big of a deal. Just get the thing on the field. So in that case, we have one free slot for Fatal Flare to just go equip it. Like you can use it to combine with the Triboro, or you're gonna use it with if you're playing like another rank 4 for Doomsday, which is gonna show the potential, because you can special summon another level 4 dark dragon monster for Dragon Link really easy. Like if like for example, like we have Pistol, we have Dark Dragon, we have Reloader. Is that thing called Reloader? Recharger. Just dude, this thing. Because we have Recharger, and we have Recharger, Guard Dragon, Bisto, all of stuff, and plus like Cloudy Bar can also special summon Doomsday in your hand. So we have a lot of way to get a Doomsday card in the field. Doomsday level 4, and we just use a Fatal Flare to equip the level 4 with a Link monster. In our opponent turn, we no longer just having like a Doomsday Dresses plus a full Dragon Link board. We have Dresses and the break. And then I don't want to talk about this thing. And we're just gonna talk about break, right? We have the break for another 2 destroy, and have another like a quiz spell to your hand, which is which is funny enough. You can actually bring another like good equip spell with this deck. Let me see. Uh, I can't just. I kind of forget where is that stuff. So I'm just gonna hold up. Oh man, I know this is a long video, but just hold on. Okay, you can also play with the living fossil, which is funny enough. Living fossil is negating the equipped monster effect. You can target, maybe you can target like the 7. You can target 7 or 5 effect, and just, the effect is negated. But if you just but the 5 and 7, they all have a like equipped spell like equipped to it, so you can still activate the fact to baiting your opponent on the floor. Like you probably feel like it will never gonna be happen, but remember it is Master Duel, and your opponent against a deck that was never seen before. Doomsday Dragon. Who know this thing work? Or like just or opponent is smart, you're just gonna special summon this, and maybe like, your opponent playing Mitsurugi, they cannot avoid to not destroying this card, so like they're just gonna destroy it accidentally. So you can just go in and activate the 5. You can activate the search for another Doomsday monster, which is like the main way of using living fossil, and also like make how do I say, you can normal summon 7 and you get like a Dirk. You can equip with Dirk and go in and just go and pop a card opponent control and get a living fossil, and we can special summon a 7 back on the field. In that case, we can just like we're not losing any monster values or our Dragon Link combo, and we get a free pop on your opponent field. So you can actually play it like you can play living fossil in this deck, and you also can search for this Boil Regenerator for our combo pieces. But the Boil but the Regenerator gonna be get out of this deck when the support is coming out. So, but the support is gonna probably like, I don't know, half a year later for the Master Duel. So it can still search for the Regenerator and special summon Rocket on the field, which is is useful. And yeah, that is all of my deck, and as you can see, my deck, I didn't play like this card. I didn't play the Borthrow Dragon. That is majorly because we don't have that much way to increase our link value, right? The reason why Borthrow it work because you need to pair the Detonator is in this deck with the Fatal Flare equipped. We just can special summon another Link 3 body on the field. But since we most of the time using this effect as for the Doomsday's sake, we can never we rarely get enough link value to make another Link 5. So I just remove it, and I don't really want to get more rocket pieces for that thing. So yeah, I just replace it with a Boros Sword, because Dragon, Master Duel stuff. You never know when your opponent gonna special summon the card you cannot deal with. You can only deal with battle you cannot deal with card effects or something. But if I can make a decision, I to remove all the foldy what's that thing called Lowe's Tower card, I would just play 2 Striker, which is gonna make this deck much more fluent than that. But I'm not the one that can control the player not playing Tower, so we can still play. We can just play with Boros with all the time. And yeah, that is basically all the stuff I want to talk about in Doomsday Dragon Link. And majorly, I want to share this deck with you guys, because I gained a lot of winning with this deck, and it's really much fun. And I really rarely seen anyone in like English or Western community talking about this deck, because majorly I'm playing OCG, and in OCG I'm the one that are playing this deck for the most of the time, and I get some like attract few person few person to just get through this deck, but really there is no player from Western community seeing the potential for these type of like scenario. It could work. So I'm here to just trying to bring this idea. Hey, it's just like, hey mate, Doomsday Dragon Link is a stuff. It could work, but it's probably not gonna fulfill your idea of like a working deck. But it was working. It was working for me, and it was fun. And it can throw out your opponent, and it can tolerate with Maxi Fuva really easily. So, how about trying this deck with your Dragon Link? Like, when do you last time play Dragon Link? If you have a Dragon Link deck in your hand, in Master Duel, you probably not playing it for a long time. How about investing only one ultra rare dust on Doomsday to play this deck? Which is I also feel like it was like one of the best thing about Doomsday and Master Duel is it costs literally nothing. All of the stuff like extra like zero, like except from zero and end, you are ultra rare. So actually you just need to craft 2 ultra rare. You get for 60 ultra rare dust. You can just get a full package of Doomsday. You're done. You're completed with it. You can play Doomsday without any problem. And only other stuff is just like super rare or something. Then just you're good to go. Like you're good to go. You can have a deck that can have a side engine that was like super good against Fuva, super good against Maxi, and can just go turns with one special summon, which is Dragon Link cannot do it that good. And yeah, that's all the stuff that I'm gonna talk about, and it's taking a lot of time. 1 hour is one of my style. I always talking too much because I need to get my idea out, which is kind of hard for me. I'm still practicing about how to speak more like accurately rather than just fluently talking about a lot of random stuff. So I still practicing my old stuff getting around. And yeah, if you can stay here at this point, I'm really glad you do this. I'm gonna do this probably. I mean, who will invest their time 1 hour totally on a random person? Let's talk about a video game. Then, if you're watching to here, I really appreciate you watching, and in case like right now I just got a quote for like one outro I really want to use. It's kind of weird, but I really want to use it. So in case I never see you, like good evening, good morning, good evening, and good night. See ya.